to your left.
It's hard to get a focus for a minute. Come on, Pancho.
And then you can go down, there's some stairs right here,
Okay.
and you'll come down to this main floor. This is Enrique.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Nice to see you again. Come on, come on.
Up this
Oh.
way. There we go. Yeah. How you doing this week?
Good, how are you?
Doing pretty good. How's he been?
He's been pretty good, and he's pretty excited right now, but I had a walk like 2 days ago. I didn't have to buzz him once.
Okay.
And yeah, he's been pretty good. I think he's also been understanding pretty well when I say like, okay, go to the release.
Pat to the left, sure.
Yeah, and then I don't know. He was figuring out when it was time to get back under
Control.
Yeah.
Okay. What we're going to do today is we're going to review what you've been practicing, making sure it's all being done correctly. And then we're going to add in the heel words once everything looks good. So
Great.
we'll have a formal on switch.
Okay.
And then we're going to work on the second half of heel.
Okay.
Anything in the past couple weeks or otherwise pretty good?
Yeah. He's definitely been better, and yeah, as it's kind of like each walk, I'd say he got a little better until that day when I didn't even have these acronyms. It wasn't.
What's his number been typically?
It's fluctuated a bit. It's been as low as 35, and I think as low as like 75. Just when he had a lot of adrenaline, there's a lot of smells and stuff.
Sure, yeah, like things going on. Like right now he's distracted, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So what's your number currently set at?
50.
Okay, we'll keep it there. We'll see how it works.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have you just go back and forth here, just to show me what you've been working on. Then we'll swap handlers.
You're not gonna do the thing when he's not ready.
Yeah, everything stays the same. You know, you do what you normally do.
I was doing it wrong. I was definitely when I went into the turn.
How so?
It's definitely wrong. I didn't watch the video, but when I was watching it, if I went into the turn, it was definitely.
Yeah, that was bad.
If he's turning with you, you don't. You're only tapping if he's, like here, see I was kind of getting a little ahead?
Yeah.
You would tap when he's getting ahead of you, okay? And turn, tap and turn, yeah. But if he's turning with you, because what we're trying to teach Pancho here is to follow your lead. So if he's turning with you, then technically it would be an unfair tap, right? But it's okay.
I actually only did that like a couple walks. It was when I was out of town.
Sure. Okay. Do a couple more walk bys. Does he have a scratch in his nose there?
No, did I
Or
know?
is it like a thing on there? It looks like
Oh, it might be something stuck in the muzzle. Let me see. Sit boy. Sit
it's
Pancho.
on the right side of his nose there.
Oh, it's like a beef.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, buddy.
All right, yeah. There you go. And is that how he typically walks, or does he walk better than that?
Or does he walk what?
Is that how he usually walks, or does he walk better than this?
I'd say it's been better. Usually he seems maybe a little extra distracted, but he's doing pretty well right now.
Okay.
He's getting a little ahead of me.
Yep, good.
He does sometimes like angle in towards me as you see.
Yeah, I'm seeing that here. Good, so we're gonna bring him back and then
That
we'll
wasn't
swap
me.
handlers.
Oh.
Yep, forward, yep. Good, so we're going to swap and then I'll see how you've been doing. So just do what you were doing, don't worry about being correct, because it shows me just how much you retain, how much you retained correctly, all that stuff.
Pancho.
Yeah, that's correct, good. And you're at 50, correct?
Opposite hands.
Oh,
There you go.
That's good.
we're having to be real good. But usually, I'm walking like on his back, by his back foot.
Okay,
I can't get him to walk with me like this.
okay. How would you rate this on a scale of like 1 to 10? 10 being really good, 1 being not so good.
8.
Okay.
He's being, yeah, no, this is really good.
Going to come to a stop. Okay. He's like a 5 or a 6. Okay. He's actually a bit off. So we want to tighten that up. It's one simple answer. Do we know what that answer is?
The answer for what,
To
sorry?
get him to, because when you were walking him,
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't so much pulling, like he was walking with you, but he was walking with you and not completely,
He's kind of a little aloof, yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
okay. So how do we think we would correct that issue?
Do the 180 and buzz. I
That's
guess.
correct.
He gets a little, yeah,
But then, like, because you did that a few times,
sure.
but it didn't get better.
Right.
So what does that tell us?
There's something else going on.
We're not doing it as often, so you get the training.
What else? Those are good guesses.
I don't know.
He's not responding to,
So if he's not responding to it, right, then what do we want to do?
maybe turn it up?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so right off the bat, I saw him come in and I go, okay, he's like maybe 60% focused. I get it's
Yeah.
better, right? But we don't want 60, we want as close to 100 as possible.
Yeah.
So then, you mentioned earlier the lowest you've been at is 35 and the highest you've been is 75, right?
Yeah, maybe even 80, but yeah, something like that.
Sure, so right now you're at 50, so you're right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And 50, because it's already been a couple of weeks, is that when you're at the correct number, it just, boom. Okay, it's like instantaneous. So like we have a dog that comes for daycare and train, and her owner had a couple of sessions. The first session was great, then she had her second session, and then she's like, you know, the dog was really good in the beginning, but now she's really pressing the boundaries. And she starts at 15, and she always comes up at 35. So then I told her, tomorrow she's going 35. I said, don't even start at 15. And then she emails me and goes, Jesse, the dog was perfect. Because she started right at that number, okay? So because we're in a different environment here, we want to think of, you're still learning the process, okay?
Right.
But right off the bat, I know with this guy at this point, after about it's been 2, maybe 3 weeks since I've seen you?
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. So I'm thinking he's got a good concept. It's just a matter of he's in a new place, even though there's not much going on, he's still distracted.
Yeah, the dog is inside.
Yeah, as I would increase it, okay? So we're gonna work on that real quick, and then we're gonna work on the next half a heel, because unless we have his full attention, it's meaningless, okay? So we're gonna go to 50, from 50, we're gonna go to, we'll go to 60. Okay, and instead of going straight forward, I'm gonna have you just turn, tap, tap, and fold, and then relax. Keep straight. And don't let him take your space. Yeah, then relax.
If he takes my space, what do I do?
Just keep moving forward. You're gonna walk through him. Yeah, power through. Then you're gonna slow turn here. Relax that arm. Turn. Tap. Tap. Keep forward. There you go. Keep straight. Keep straight. Keep straight. Now slow turn. Now slow walk here. Slower. Now stop. Okay, now you're at 80%.
Okay.
Did you see that difference?
Mm-hmm.
You only have to turn twice or tap twice, and he locked right on. Now, before I forget, because he was doing this with you, so he starts to angle to the right,
Right.
and then do you know what you did?
I try to kind of
You used the leash a little
use
bit,
my arm, yeah.
and there's another thing that you were doing,
Okay.
is you're doing this.
I was letting him
Yes,
adjust me.
I just power through. So if you start to cross over, boom, right? I'm using that body language, like, you know, you're getting through a crowd,
Yeah.
you know, like you're just pushing through. Same thing for this guy, because the reason why he's crossing over is he's trying to glue to you, but because you're giving up the space, you end up angled out, okay? So if he crosses over like this, and I move through and I go boom, it pushes him over here, okay? And then I'm worried about correcting if I need to, but he's learning if I walk too much, if I overcompensate, I'm gonna get that physicality, so I'm gonna stay over here in this little pocket, okay? So you always wanna command that space, because if you give it up or stop or always use the leash, it never goes away. Okay, I want him to respect your presence. And we're gonna do, a couple of things today that are going to help reinforce this when we do the turns. But if he starts crossing over, most people tend to hesitate or they go with the dog. And what you wanna do is just power through, okay? Because if you hesitate, it allows him to really just take over. So like, I think when he did it with you, I think you asked, and then you like slow down and stop. You know, I would have just kept going, boom.
But you don't nudge him though.
No, not with the remote. That's all done for you, okay? Because it's going to confuse him. Remote's going to make him want to come in tighter. And really what you're trying to tell him is get out the way, okay? So we're going to try that again. So forward. Tap. Relax, good. Now turn. Tap. Good, forward. Now slow walk, but keep forward. There you go. Keep that straight line. Now slow turn. Forward, slow walk. Slower. Stop. See the difference?
That's closer to how he's been like, I think he's getting used to the walks in the neighborhood and this is just new.
This is new, yeah. So your obedience is only as good as the environment you practice in. So if you practice always in the neighborhood, he's gonna be great. He might be like 25, whatever. And then the biggest thing that people struggle with is when they go to the park. They're like, Jesse, the dog's great at home, but then at the park, they're like all over the place. I'm like, then this is the answer.
Sure.
So you went from 50 to 60. That's all we did. And then right away, you're seeing a big change, right? You're seeing what he, like you noted here, was how he typically walks. So when you go to a new environment, he already has the concept of what he's supposed to do. It's just a matter of, in that environment, is it important enough for him to do? That's all it is, okay? And it just comes down to the number. And then as you practice in that environment more and more, and you expose him regularly, it may go down, because now it's transferred over. But then you go to a new park, and it's like you're restarting, okay? Now eventually, you go to so many places, and you reinforce it to that degree, that you'll go to a new place and boom, he's just there, because you've done it so much, okay? So, I would suggest either switching up the route, if you always do the same route, branching out, going other places,
Okay.
or, taking a trip over to like another park or something, and then having him, exposing him to new environments and stuff. Okay? So that easy fix. Does that make sense here?
Yeah.
Now, he did give a couple little yips, right? Because now we're at 60, he's starting to de-escalate. We'll see how he does. If he does again, we'll dip down. The only reason why I'm not going down now was because he was still willing to push it a little bit in the beginning. Okay? So what we're going to add in here is the heel cue, which means is now the on switch. So for the past couple of weeks, the on switch was the stick. When he felt the contraction, that told him here. Now we're putting that verbal cue. Okay? So when you walk with him, you're going to cue the word heel first, and then you're going to move forward with your left leg like this. Okay? So it's going to be heel, left leg. Now we're moving. Okay? Now, we only say heel when we go from stationary to motion. Okay? So if you're walking with Pancho and he gets ahead of you, you wouldn't say heel and turn. You would just turn and tail.
Okay.
Okay? So we only cue things once. But if I come to a stop, he just come to a stop, auto sit, we wait a moment, heel, left leg, now we're moving again. Okay? So we're going to repeat that pattern a few times.
So heel means for him to start walking.
Correct. Heel means walk at my heel. Okay? So technically if you walk outside with Pancho and you don't say anything, he can do all this nonsense. Okay? Not until you cue heel would then everything kick into effect. Okay? Because last week I was just like, don't worry about saying anything, just tap them and walk with them to force you to use the remote. Because when I used to use the word the first class, I would come back in the second class, people would always be saying heel but not using the remote. But then the dog wasn't listening because they didn't enforce it. So I want, because it's the remote that's going to empower what heel means. Okay? He will never by definition know what heel means. He's just associating. When I hear this word, I'm supposed to walk in my owner's left side. Okay? So what I'm going to have you do is super simple. You're just going to say heel and start walking, right? And then you'll slow down, come to a stop. Pancho should stop with you. Sit, wait a moment. Heel, you'll walk a bit. If you need to turn, you'll turn, slow down, come to a stop. He should sit, heel. You're just repeating that process, okay? You're just getting used to the muscle memory. Now, in this exercise, your turnarounds or your corrections are still in effect. So if I say heel with Pancho and I come to a stop and he keeps going, then I would turn back to correct him to bring him back to my side. Okay, so you'll still be doing that. Okay? Questions?
No.
So when you're ready, heel.
Okay, so I say heel.
There you go. So now everything turns on. And then you'll do this as a slow turn. Yep. And then you'll slow down to a stop. Yep, wait a moment, that's fine. Heel,
Heel.
left leg, that was right leg. Slow down to a stop. That's fine. Heel, left leg,
Heel.
good. Tap forward, good. And slow turn. Yep. And slower to a stop. Good. Heel, left leg.
Heel.
to a stop. One more.
Heel.
Heel, left leg.
Heel.
There you go. Keep forward. Good turn. Go to stop. Right there. Okay? So we're going to keep him there. We're going to swap handlers because we should keep his butt down. Tap, tap, tap. Good.
Sorry,
Okay.
the whole tapping thing is just,
Tap, tap, tap. There you go. Good.
Heel.
Good.
Heel.
Slow turn. Bring it from under. There you go. And slow down to a stop. Okay.
Heel.
Turn. Tap. Tap. Give a little bit of slack, keep straight, power through. So you see how it comes in front of you?
Gotcha.
Bump right through, bump right through.
Heel.
Good, slow turn. Good, slow stop. Okay. Yeah, boy, good, 3 more.
Heel.
Good turn. Good, slow stop. So here, see how he passed you? So then right there, as he kept going, you would go into that turn, tap, slam back up again.
I'm sorry, for what? I missed that.
So like right now, he came to a stop.
Uh-huh.
He stopped, but then passed you and came and sat in front of you. So when he started passing you, you'd want to turn, tap to correct him.
Because he should just stop at my heel.
You should stop at your
Okay.
side. So I've given him a little bit of a window
Mm-hmm.
in terms of stopping, because it wasn't perfect every time.
Mhm.
But I'm more so concerned about heel left leg, right, for you.
Mm-hmm.
But that one was like a blatant, like just completely off. That even though you're coming to a stop, and if he's going, you want to turn, tap to correct him. Okay, so he syncs up with you.
Right.
Try it again.
Heel.
Grab dude, and his remote him and everything. Better.
Heel. Is that acceptable? I mean, he's kind of like angled.
That's okay for now. Okay, we're gonna do one more.
Heel. Something's bothering him. Hold on.
Let's try one more.
Heel. Should I zap him if he don't move?
Correct. So move, heel,
Heel.
tap.
Heel.
Because dude here distracted him. And slow to a stop. That's okay for now. Fine. Very good. Okay. So here, now you have the verbal on switch. Okay. So then you would say heel. After you cue that process or cue that word, everything kicks into effect. And then you would come to a stop, and let's say you decide to give him a potty break. Then you'd say break, and then he can pee, poop, and do his doggy thing. And then once he's done and you're ready, Pancho heel. I was trying to say dude. Pancho heel. Last week, what was it? Maverick last time?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was.
Now it's dude. Is then you'd say heel to reinitiate the command. Okay. Now when we do the heel, there's a very specific way that we make turns, okay? Enrique here with Dude is going to demonstrate first what we call the crossover turns. That's when you're turning left and you're crossing over over Pancho. And then we're also going to do the right pivots, 180 pivots, okay? And as you demonstrate the turns, we'll start with the crossover, explain the crossover as well. Okay, go ahead. What's his number?
39.
Go down to 22. Okay.
Heel. So for crossover, we slow down prior to turning. So he's in the heel, so I slow down. It's gonna be right, left, right. I slow down. You should slow down with me. Tap. Lead with the right foot. Right, left.
Yeah, he's going to correct that mid-turn.
Tap, tap. So if I slow down and he doesn't slow down with me, I just go straight to the correctional turn.
Okay.
So I slow down, he's slowing down with me, so I proceed with the right leg, right leg. I slow down, right, left, right, tap, tap, tap.
Bump him to 28.
So he's slowing down with me, right, left, right. So I slow down, tap, tap, tap. I slow down. Here we go. Right, left, right. I slow down. Right, left, right. A few more, or?
Go ahead and come to a stop. So when he's making those left turns, he's cutting at a 90 degree angle. Very sharp, okay? And very pronounced, because if you do a soft right like this, it's not enough for Pancho to pick up on. It has to be a really sharp 90 degree cut, so you're cutting right into him, okay? As you saw Enrique demonstrating there, when he was doing the turn, if Dude wasn't in the correct position, he didn't try to force the turn. He went into the correction turn to lock him back in first, and then went into the left turn. People tend to force the turn when the dog's out of place, and then it just ends up being a mess. So you always correct it, because the more you do that now, the less you end up doing it in the future, okay? So now he's going to demonstrate the 180 pivots going to the immediate right, okay? And then we'll have you work with Pancho here.
So I'm going to go into a heel, and then before I do my right turn, I'm going to slow down again. So it's going to be heel, left leg, slow down. If he's not paying attention, tap. So I slow down. I'm going to extend my left leg, and hop back on the right leg, and then back on the left. So I slow down. He's paying attention. Left, right, left. Slow down. Left, right, left. I slow down. He's not paying attention, tap. I slow down here, tap. Slow. Left, right, left.
Do one more.
Slow down. Left, right, left.
Go and come to a stop. Very good. So again, when Dude wasn't paying attention, he didn't try to force the turn.
Immediate 180.
He just right away started correcting him, right? So because he's getting distracted, because he's got Pancho here, who he's never seen before. So it's a little bit like, out of the ordinary. Like he's used to the other dogs here now. So then he's getting distracted. So then he's using that to his advantage and going, nope, don't worry about that. Worry about me. Okay. So now Enrique is going to demonstrate the crossover turns and the left turns and just going between them. Okay. And then when you do the turns, call out the turn and then call out the leg movements. Okay.
And the pivot ones are like when he's
when his behavior is correct, yes?
So all of this here that he's doing is when he's paying attention. So like, let's say the reason why you're essentially doing the same kind of turn, but one is a UE and the other one is a pivot. Okay. The reason for the two ways is you won't always have the space to do a UE. You might have to do a pivot, and you might not. Maybe there's someone behind you that you can't pivot, so you can do the UE. Okay. Now, when you're doing the regular soft left and right turns, they operate the same in the sense that you're leading with the leg opposite to the turn. So if you're turning left, you're turning with your right leg. When you're turning right, you're turning with your left leg. Okay? So when we do those turns, and I'll have them go over them real quick, it's not as, strict, because you're just making a soft left or a soft right. Those are the easiest turns. It's the turnarounds that are harder for people, and those are more leg or specific. Okay?
I have a question. Like, the dog keeps looking at him, like, he's walking and he's looking at him, like, is that normal? I mean, should he be that close when you're walking a dog? Or?
Right, so I give dogs about 6 inches. Okay, the dog should be further than 6 inches from your side. And he's looking at him here because earlier when he tapped him at the 38 or whatever, you heard him yip a couple times. So his number is weird because sometimes it could be 80 and sometimes it's like 20 something. Okay, so his varies a bit, but he's also more of a nervous, anxious dog. So that, as we work with him more, it should settle him and we get more consistency. So, but as you saw here, when he was at 30 something, he yipped. We didn't make a big deal about it. We just addressed it, went back down, and then bumped it from 22 to 28. We're just going with what the dog tells us.
Right.
Okay, because if he's not listening at 50, we went to 60, and all of a sudden he was doing a lot better. Okay, is what you're more so concerned about. Okay, but it's not realistic for Pancho to be staring at you. Tap. There you go. Just relax. Yep. Up. Tap. Good, and relax. He's getting frustrated because he either wants to go to mom, or because you're not moving, and he wants to do something. That's where we're getting this from. Tap. Right, and relax. Okay, good, and just anchor yourself. Very good. So Enrique is going to demonstrate the turns back to back. Okay.
I'm going to go into the heel, so left leg heel. Do a right turn with the left leg, right leg left. Tap.
Because he delayed there, so there was a tap to speed him up.
So I slow down. We'll do a right turn, so the left leg first, right leg left. Tap for the sniffing, because it was causing him to lag. So I slow down. I'm going to do a right turn again. Left leg, right leg, left leg. I'm going to do a left turn, a crossover once. So I'm going to lead with my right leg. So I slow down. He's paying attention. Right, left, right. Do another crossover. I slow down. He's paying attention. Right leg, left leg, right leg. I'm going to do a right turn, slow down. Left leg, right leg, left leg.
Just a couple more.
I slow down. I'm going to do a crossover. So it's going to be right, left, right.
And last one.
Slow down. I'm going to do another crossover. Right, left, right.
Good. Come to a stop. Good. Okay. So we'll swap. Just keep dude with you. So now we're going to start same process. I'm going to have you start with the crossovers first. That tends to be the hardest for people. Okay. So we got Pancho here. You want to do that slow down like you review was doing, and you're coming in right, left, right, and on that third step or the second right. You should already be going back the opposite way.
Okay.
I like to use visuals. Like if we had a sidewalk, now sidewalks have squares. Is if you're on the sidewalk, the left turns fall right in line with the sidewalk. So if I'm walking on the right side of the curb, right, if this was a crack, it would be right, left, right, and I'm staying right within the width of the sidewalk. But I have a little bit of a visual here. So then it's right, left, right. And if you're doing it correctly, you should stay within the width of the sidewalk. When people overshoot it, they'll go right, left, right, and they really round it out. Now they're in the grass.
Sure.
Okay? So it's a 3-step process. Again, if Pancho is paying attention, it should feel very smooth. This is why correcting early was so important. Because if he's not paying attention and he's over here and you're trying to turn like this, everything's out of line, it's not gonna go well. Okay? So you're gonna cue the word heel and move with that left leg. And then when you're ready, you're gonna slow down and then lead that turn with a very sharp 90-degree cut on that right leg. Okay?
Heel.
Right, left, right. There you go. We'll do 4 more. Right, left. Now, did that one feel a little awkward?
It did.
Do you know why it was awkward?
I should have buzzed him because he wasn't. Actually, no, I don't.
You didn't slow down enough.
Ah.
You turned, the first one you slowed down, the next one you just went straight into it.
Okay.
So you had to compensate. So you had to pull them back and then you had to like stretch out your leg,
Yeah, okay.
right? So whenever it feels awkward, it's almost always because the owner's not slowing down.
Okay.
Okay, so let's try it again.
Heel.
There you go. Better. Right, so you didn't slow down on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so try it again. Remember,
Heel.
slow down.
Heel.
Okay, forward. There you go. Right, left, right, power through. You got it. That wasn't on you, that was on him. 2 more.
What's wrong with you?
Yep, keep going. He's okay.
Heel.
Good, 1 more.
Heel.
There you go. Good turn. Do 1 more. And slow will stop. Good. So you're doing what a lot of people do,
Yeah.
which is when the dog is concerned or distracted or something, you tend to stop.
Yeah.
And you want to just keep your movement, okay? Because you're in front, he's not.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one leading the walk, right? So then every time you stop when he's confused or looking at the ground or something, you're reinforcing that behavior.
Yeah.
Where it should be like, hey buddy, we're walking. And then maybe something is concerning him.
Right.
Maybe there's like, something weird on the ground. I don't care. We're walking, okay? So, but your turns were good once you started to slow down.
Mhm.
Now for Pancho here, it doesn't matter what he does. So if you're turning and Pancho stops, because that happened a couple times,
It did, yeah.
you just keep moving, okay? Because what he's doing is going, you're moving in front of my space, and sometimes he would pivot with you, sometimes he would stop. What I care about is once you're going this way, what does he do? So some dogs will stop, and you'll complete the turn, and they'll just do this, and then they'll start going. That's fine.
Mhm.
Other dogs will see you turning, and they'll pivot with you, pivot again, and they'll just move with you. There's no, right or wrong. I just care that he's moving with you, okay?
Okay.
So we're gonna try the pivots now. So that's when you're walking, you slow down, you're gonna extend, lead to left, back on your right, forward to left. Now you're going the opposite way. Okay?
Yeah. All right, he's going to the bathroom or something. Something seems to be bothering him.
That's fine. Yep.
All right, so I'm going to do the opposite turn now.
You're gonna do the turns to the right, correct?
Heel.
Almost. Try one. So that was more of a rounded turn, and you want to do a pivot off that left foot.
Oh, yeah, okay. Heel.
So that's a rounded turn. Go to come to a stop.
I don't know. It's...
So here, it's funny because a lot of people do this naturally until I tell them to do it on purpose.
Yeah.
So what you're doing here is this, okay? And what you want to do is stick out that left leg, back on the right leg, and then turn like this, okay? Go ahead.
Heel.
I'm like, concerned about him or something.
He's fine.
Heel.
And then back on the right, and forward. There you go, you got it, very good. There you go, perfect. 3 more. Good.
Maybe it's just the muzzle bottom.
Good, you're gonna do 1 more. There you go, good. And then here, do a slow to a crossover turn.
That's like the quick one?
That's the one,
Oh, just the opposite way?
correct. Right, left, yeah, keep that movement, there we go. And then come to slow, then slower, right? So you see how right there he got ahead of you?
Yeah.
So if this was on the street, you would 180 turn correct and tighten them up, okay? So let's review the whining.
Yeah.
Do you know why I don't care?
Because it's probably about bullshit. You gotta learn.
Yeah, it's probably about bullshit, isn't it? Is there anything here that you think he should be whining about?
No, it's unless he's gotta go to the bathroom or something. Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm overthinking it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. And if he pees here, like it's okay, like it's a dog.
Sure, it
can
happens.
happen,
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
But the other thing is, why is he here?
He's got a lot to learn.
A lot to learn, but what brought you to him?
Him lashing out.
Correct. Aggressive responses.
Yeah.
Right? Is if I understand temp, right? And then up, here we go, and relax. I understand the care. I'm not saying don't care for your dog,
Of course. Yeah, I got you.
but it babies him.
Mm-hmm.
And when you baby him, that can be a source of the lashing out because he's not able to handle play. Okay, and shit happen. Like we were in the middle of a pandemic. We had masks on now. We've completely had to alter the way we operate. Right? And some people are making a big fuss about it. And I'm just like, whatever. If this is what I got to do, live my life and operate my business, all right, fine. What it is what it is, right? That's my take on it.
Yep.
But it's the same thing for this guy, right? Where it's like, look, but I don't know why you're whining, but just cut the crap because there's nothing to whine about.
Yeah.
You know? So, because that establishes your relationship. If you reinforce that stuff, and I understand where you're coming from because you're trying to console him, but he doesn't read it as consolation. He reads you as a softer energy.
Yeah.
Okay? And when I'm like, cut the crap, who's whining? Is that him now? Correct him. Yep. There you go. Because he's the same, he's an insecure German Shepherd. Okay? And he's tried to act tough and like lunge at me and stuff, but it comes out of insecurity. Okay? And then I just correct him and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna walk you, deal with it. And he's like, all right. And then now he's gotten used to it. Okay? But I didn't baby him. Okay? I wasn't worried about positive, because I wasn't doing anything in the first place that was like, I just walked past the kennel. That's all I did. Okay? And then he learned that I'm not one who wants to lash out at.
Yeah.
Okay? And now he's starting to accept those roles. He's like, oh, okay, cool, I just deal with these things. I'm like, yeah, you just deal with them because life's going to throw you crap. Okay? And what you're doing is not a meanness.
No.
Right? Like there was no negative energy here, but after you tapped him that time, now you've been quiet for like the last minute and a half, 2 minutes. Right? Because you've said, there's nothing to be anxious about here.
Yeah.
Okay? So remember, you're leading him. Okay? Unless there's something that like he should absolutely be worried about, even in that setting, you'd still be leading him. You know, if someone blows up a firework and he's running away for his life, get your ass over here.
Yeah.
Don't be scared of that. Okay? So that's what I train for. Okay? So otherwise your turns are good. You got the pivot down. Okay? That left, right, left, that was good. So what we're gonna do here,
Yeah, the pivot was comfortable, but the whole thing was kind of awkward.
you have to get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just practice.
Yeah.
Okay? So what I'm gonna have you do before we swap is I'm gonna have you go between those turns on your own. Okay? So like
between left and right.
exactly. You're gonna just be using them interchangeably, and then when you're done, then we'll swap.
Okay.
Okay? Go for it.
Heel.
Power through. Good. Good turn. forward. Move a little bit. There it goes. Good. All right, keep straight. You got it. There you go. Better turn. Yeah, power through, because you decided to screw around with the muzzle. Good. Good. Do a couple more during as well. You got a good turn. That was a real good turn. And slow to stop when you're ready. Okay. Now what I'm going to have you do here is light pull inwards towards you
Towards me? Okay.
and down.
Like to get him,
Closer. Okay? Because he shouldn't be 4 feet away from you.
sure.
He should be like kind of like where dude is here next to Enrique,
Mhm.
within 6 inches. Is
Okay.
where that right shoulder should land. Okay. Now I let some things go. Like here, he's still technically away,
And he's kind of
but
facing.
he's closer. Okay. As you work with him and you're at the appropriate number, you should start to see that tighten up. Okay. Let's go and swap handlers.
You said something about babying him, and I do baby him a lot. Like, when he's anxious, he'll come to me, but he's Paul, I'm gonna have to be, it's okay. I shouldn't do that anymore.
I'm telling you, push him away. Because you're telling him, yes, you should be anxious. Your intent is to console him. So for like, this is super common, where dogs will be reactive, right? And the owner will take their leash and go, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, right? Intentionally console. But for the dog, he's thinking, petting means yes. So they're actually saying to tell the dog, yes, keep lunging and barking.
Oh.
Okay? Petting is a part of positive reinforcement. So if you said sit and he sat, what would you do? Good boy,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if he's feeling anxious and you're saying, be anxious, I ignore him, or I correct him if I have the tool. Okay? And I'm like, I don't know whatever it is that's making you anxious, but you gotta learn how to deal with it.
The FedEx man, when he comes by me, he puts his paw on me. It's okay, so don't do that anymore.
Don't do that. You want to either ignore him or push him away. Okay? And that's going to be a habit to break. You have to be aware of that because you're so conditioned to respond to him that you're probably going to do it not even think about it.
Yeah.
Okay? It happens all the time. So I'm going to have you go ahead and position yourself so that he's on your left side. And then you're going to start with those crossover turns. So that's when you're turning left into Pancho. Okay? And you're going to be leading that turn, of course, with that right leg. Tap. Okay, tap. There you go. Right there. So I'm going to have you just point out that little detail there. Give a little bit of slack. And now relax. When he left, where are you going?
Yeah,
Right? And then you tapped, and what did he do?
now fire.
Now, yeah, exactly. He moved his head around and went, here I go. Okay? Little things like that you want to be aware of. Because most owners go like, oh, but it's the owner. It's me, right? And I'm like, yeah, but he's not with you anymore. He's with her. Okay? So it's kind of like with kids, when you drop them off for the first day of school, you know, I mean, I bawled my eyes out. I was with my mom my whole life, right? Until that point. But then it's like a part of life. It's like you got to learn to detach and then be independent. And I actually had an ex-girlfriend whose cousin, when the mom went to drop him off for the first day of school, had threw a fit, and she felt super bad until she homeschooled him. Okay? And I've had clients who are like therapists and stuff, and whenever I tell them that story, they're like, oh my God, no, you have to let that kid just be, right? Like, let them get through it. He's got a lot of issues now because of that.
Yeah.
Okay? So tap. Tap. We're all animals. Humans are animals, dogs are animals, all that stuff, right? But the way we perceive things is really, because we have like emotional thinking. If you're, it's all about logical or instinctual thinking. Emotional thinking is good as well, but sometimes, we do things and it reinforces the wrong thing. Okay, so she was thinking emotionally when her child was, throwing the fit and stuff, and she felt bad, and she let that lead her decision. When logically, anybody would be like, no, you gotta leave that kid alone. Like, he's gotta learn to just disengage. Okay, so same thing for this guy. But for him, it wouldn't be done through, just abandoning him. It's more so like, you know, don't worry about him. It's all about me right now. Okay? So when you're ready, you're going to cue the word heel, and you're going to start going into those left turns.
Heel.
Right, left, right, and forward. You got it. Bring that leash around from under. Yeah, there you go. So you see how he's...
Yeah, so what do I do? Do I zap him?
Well, you need to command that pace. Because what you're doing is you're altering your body language to him. He started to move, and you started to like go longer. You're not going to have that in the real world. You're going to hit the street. Okay? So when you make that turn, remember it's right, left, right. You're just powering right through him. And also remembering to slow down prior to that turn. Okay?
Oh, heel.
Right, right, left, right. Power through, power through. Try it again. A little better, but it's kind of awkward there.
I know. What am I doing wrong?
Oh, what do you think you're doing?
I don't know. Right, left.
Do you know what she's doing incorrectly?
Seems like too many steps.
Not now. She's actually doing the steps correctly here. But look at where Pancho is.
Oh, yeah,
He's too far away,
right.
right? So you're wanting to go into those correctional turns to bring him closer. Okay? So this happens all the time. People get locked up in the exercise. I'm turning left. And they don't correct if the dog is out of line, because that's why everything feels weird. Is he's 2 feet away. So then when you're doing this, he's 2 feet away, then it's your left foot, and now you're pushing him that way. Whereas if you were to be closer, it would be right over him, and it would be a lot smoother. Okay, so we'll try it again.
Heel.
Now slow down. Keep moving forward, but slow. Right, left, right. You got it. A little bit better. Give slack on the leash. Go ahead and turn. So right there.
What am I doing? It's not first.
So you should have done a correctional turn. You're trying to force the turn when he's not set up correctly.
So the correction of turn would be as if he's not listening, then zap him. I mean, tap
And go
him.
the other way.
Go the other way.
Like the
Oh.
180 zap, but then you do it.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Heel.
Slow. Okay. Right.
And then with that, if you're not listening, so that's when I.
That was actually would have been a good turn. Turn, tap. And you want to do an immediate turn. Okay, you did a rounded turn. Now slow walk, slower, and then get ready to turn with that right leg. Right, left, right. Power through. There you go. Slow down. Okay, so that one was better, but you see how you're doing this?
Yeah.
That tells me you know that he's not in position, because you're having to adjust him.
Right.
You shouldn't have to adjust him. So here, left turn. There you go. So now he's ahead of you.
Right, so I do this.
Right, and tap, good, and keep forward, and relax. And then hug a little bit to your right, so you have space to turn. There you go. Keep forward, keep forward, keep forward. Now slow. And get ready for that right leg. Right, left, right. Look at that. Very good. Now forward. Hug to the left a bit, but now you see he's passing. So this would be about turn, tap.
Like,
About turn,
like this?
tap, yep. Forward, good. Now hug this way. Give your space to move. Now slow walk. Slower. And get ready to turn. Right, left, right. Power through. There you go. Slow walk. Now get ready to turn. Right, left, right. Right, left, right. Slow walk. Slower. Right, left, right.
Oh, I'm confused. He's all confused.
What's up?
I can't get
got it right there, you just did it. Now slow down to a stop. Okay, and go ahead and adjust your leash there, it's getting a little tangled up and stuff.
That muzzle is really hitting my mouth today, too.
So here, you have a bad habit of using your leash to control it, okay? And you want to use your body language, okay? And your movements, because now you're having to leave. And the way you move your body tells him you need to take you serious, okay? May I?
Good.
Okay. Okay. So if I have to turn right or left, okay. But you see how my arms are down? I'm not really using the leash to direct him. I'm taking those opportunities to use the remote to tell him, hey, you're going the wrong way. If I'm going to turn left, if I have to power through him, I power through him. Good. Good. See how it's just following me? And I'm taking advantage of these times where I see him lose a bit. And I'm using that as a moment to turn into him. Forward or turn and tap. There. But when I turned left, my arms didn't move that entire time. Okay? So if I see his head here and I have to turn left, don't be afraid to use your body. Dogs bite each other. I mean, he's giving you examples. Right? I'm not doing this out of meanness. I'm doing this with, hey, you need to respect what I'm doing and follow or pay attention because you will get kneed or you will get tapped. Okay? That's actually what toughens them up. People console or baby or try to do treats and stuff. That's not, dogs don't do that to each other. You know, the moms will harass the puppies to toughen them up. Smack them around, toughen them up. You know? So here, this is a very non-confrontational exercise. It's simply just walk with me. And on those left turns, because he kept focusing on you when I would go this way. I use that to my advantage and go, don't worry about that. Boom, worry about me. Because I'm the one that's going to need you if you're not paying attention. Okay? But my energy was neutral. Right? I wasn't forcefully like, God, get out of my way. It was just move. Okay? Let's try it again. And tap to correct that sit. Good.
Heel.
Yeah, he doesn't come up. Do a little bit. Yep. Remember, leave that left hand out of it. It's all about, it's you, it's your legs and the remote. Right, left, right. Put some power behind those legs. There you go. Boom, boom. Yep. Good. We'll do a couple more. Right, there you go. Let the left hand out of it. You got it. One more. It's okay. No, slow, don't stop. Good. Now I'm going to point out something. Did you notice anything different when she took him?
As opposed to when you had him?
Correct. The difference between when I had him to when she had him.
I don't know if you were bumping more or she was not having to bump more. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. Not so much on what she was doing, but how Pancho's behavior changed from when I took him to when she took him.
maybe he took you a little more seriously. It's like you're a new guy.
He started to, right?
You're a new guy. I don't know. He seemed a little more.
But when I handed him to her,
Okay.
he was actually walking better.
Oh, okay.
He was closer, okay? Because with me, he was uncomfortable. So that was producing some of those side effects, you know? So I was just using, I'm like, whatever. And then he was distracted by you, I'm like, whatever. And then I was like, whatever, right? So then it gave him a really firm foundation. So when I handed it to you, since it's still fresh in his head, he was actually doing better. Okay, so like pre-COVID, I would train the dog in front of you to show you and then go, here you go, now you do it. And the dog would do really well. Because I already, it's like, I know what I'm doing, right? So it made it easier. Here, you're having to do this as much as possible yourself. Okay, so since you're learning these skills of leading, you're in the process while he's in the process. So if I train a dog, it's super quick because I already know how to lead. It's like dancing.
Rather than saying,
Yeah, it's like dancing. You have a leader and you have a follower. An experienced leader or a very good dancer can make an inexperienced dancer look good because they know how to, use their body language. Same thing for dogs. So once you learn that concept and you learn to power through and, the things to avoid and stuff, you're going to see them all of a sudden pick up on it because now you've learned that skill. But if you put two inexperienced dancers together, it looks like a mess, right?
exactly.
Yep. 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 Good. So like here, see how he's getting anxious because he's having to sit for so long? And Enrique he was like, cut it out. Right? And then him jumping up was an outlet of the anxiety, and Enrique just said, cut it out. Non-verbally,
Right.
through the remote, and through repositioning him to where he's supposed to be. Okay? So now, we're going to try real quick. We're going to go into the pivots. So that's the left, right, left. Okay?
Wait, you do that one again, so.
So you're moving forward, okay? Left, right. There you go.
Heel.
Left leg. You did right there. Left, right, left. Now that was a bit more of a swing. You want just a straight left, okay? But otherwise that was pretty good. Left, right, left. You're still swinging.
What do you mean, like?
So it's just straight forward on the left. Right, left. But you see how you're doing a turn? You're just going within a line.
Oh, you want me to take more steps?
No, you're doing the correct number of steps, but you're doing a rounded turn. Okay?
Right.
See, that's still rounded.
Okay.
Like this. Okay? Left, right,
Right, left. Wait. So left.
right, back on your right. You're going forward. Back on your right.
What do you mean?
Okay. Left, back on the right.
All right, like that.
Now left.
Like this left.
Okay? So left,
Left.
back on the right, back on your right, back on your right, go back on your right. No, you're turning it, you're bringing it forward, go back. Like that. Now, on your right, you're pivoting and turning out to the left. Like that.
Oh.
So it's much more straight.
Gotcha.
Because what you were doing is you were turning in a wide turn. That would put you on the grass.
Heel.
Left, back on the right. You're going left turn.
I'm confused. I'm sorry. Okay. So,
Try it from there. Left. Back on the right.
right.
Back on the right.
Like,
And then left. No. Go. I'm talking about your feet.
Oh,
Thinking
okay.
direction, I'm talking about your feet. Forward with your left. Back on your right. Forward with your left. Okay, so that's better. It's just you're stopping in between. So what you end up doing is this. You go left, right, and then you go like this. Okay, you're swinging out. It should be a line. Left, right, left.
okay.
So here, let's use this. Okay, so here, you have your line. So it'll be left, right, still on the line, left, still on the line.
Wait.
Yeah, because it's a pivot. You're doing a rounded turn. This is a pivoted turn. Okay, so it's a complete 180.
Here.
So forward, right? So then loop.
No.
Remember, use your line. You have a line right there. Okay, so it's left, right, see I'm still in the line? Left, and then you keep forward.
This is not that far. Here.
Okay, go as far as you need to. Now, left, but you see you're turning off the line.
How can I get this? Okay. Can I do it without the dog? Okay, so I walk in and do left, right.
So left, right, left. There you go. Left.
No?
Because you keep going forward. You go left, then you go backwards. That's what, you're supposed to be going back. Because you're pivoting backwards. Okay? So if you're walking on the line, forward on the left, back on the right, still on the line, forward to the left. But you're on the line. Okay, so all 3 steps are on the line. Okay? Come on, give it a go. Yeah, I do it.
Here.
There you go. You got it.
I gotta
Okay.
practice that.
You just got it in your head, though.
Yeah, everybody does it. Everybody does it.
dancing.
Huh? Yeah, it's like dancing. And actually, when I work with people who dance, they go, "Oh, you're doing this with your feet." They can see it from class 1 because they do it all the time. Okay. So what I would do is find a line. Okay, it's going to seem silly because it's like you're learning how to walk, right? But it's important for him. Okay, because when you're on your walk, you know what you're doing. He doesn't. So just like you drove here, you used your blinker and you slowed down and did all those things to let everybody else who doesn't know what you're doing know what you're doing, it's the same thing for him. So it's not something that you can skip, unfortunately. We teach it for a reason. Okay? So what I suggest is before your walks, do 5 heels to stops. Okay? To get used to that heel left leg. Do 5 heels to crossovers. And then 5 heels to pivots to warm up. And then you go on your walk. Because the hard part is going to be applying these things naturally on the walk.
So you mean like in the house or in the yard, do that before the walk?
You can do it on the sidewalk.
Oh, okay.
You're not going to get far. It'll just be right here, right? But you're doing that as your warm up, and then you go, okay, cool, now we're starting.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that you practice it regularly. Because if you just, on an actual walk, you don't really turn as much as you would, like when you're doing the training, because you're learning here. He already knows what to do. Okay, I can tell you that right now. He already knows what to do. It's just you learning how to lead using your body language. Okay? Because I get dogs, right? But people are like, oh my God, the dog learns so quick. I'm like, the dog already knew how to do this. Because they read body language. Okay? It's that you've now learned how to use body language to communicate with him, so that he's able to better follow you. Okay? So last week we worked on, or last time I saw you, we worked on Pancho paying attention to you, matching what you were doing. Now I'm teaching you how to tell Pancho what you're doing, so that he's able to follow. There should be no remoting if he's paying attention. Okay, if your number is correct, and your body language is correct, and you're slowing down, Pancho should be doing all this stuff with you, no problem. Okay, so that'll be your homework for this week. Questions? Okay.
I do have a question, though. Like in the back, he gets anxiety when he sees my neighbor. So should I zap him?
You remote. 35, nothing, 40, 45, 50.
He's learned to stop barking. Like he used to like, for some reason one neighbor he's fine with, the other neighbor like he would bark, like angry bark. I got him to stop that, but I remember the way you phrased it last time I saw you was like, I bet you he stopped barking, but the anxiety level didn't stop. And
Correct.
And that's true.
Correct.
So is that just like?
So like earlier, because he was whining, but he's not whining anymore. That Enrique completely suppressed his anxiety. Okay. Earlier when he was whining with you and I told you remote him, and then he shut up. Right. Now he's starting to build again. But this is like level 1. is I would address that as well. This panting is fine. It's the whining or the escalation, you know, that change, that's when you address it. Okay, so it's like, let's say you were remoting him and he was barking or whining, and then you got this, you would be done. You wouldn't remote this, because he has to let it out somehow. And the panting is how he's expressing that.
So, I mean, I guess to be clear, like, he pretty much stopped barking, but like, he'll like just run back and forth like.
You gotta remote that too.
Okay.
Because he's still, it's 10, barking is the 10, and then you're reading everything below before that. So then, like, let's say he stops the pacing, but then he keeps staring at your neighbor, and remote that too. Like, don't care about the neighbor.
Okay.
Okay, and then you'll see he'll be out there and he'll be indifferent, you know? Then I'm like, all right, cool, you've learned to coexist. That's what I was looking for.
Okay.
Okay? Because he's your neighbor, like, you know there's nothing that he should be suspicious of.
Right.
You know, now if your neighbor tries to cross into your yard, he's gonna act out.
Sure.
Because that's a new thing. Because you've only addressed, like, if the neighbor's on his property.
He doesn't even see them. It's a, you know.
Oh, it's a privacy fence?
6-foot fence.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, like, because people are concerned, like, well, if I do that, it's gonna make my dog not protect. I'm like, no. Because it's different when they're in their own properties, but if somebody tried to come in, he's gonna be like, yo, like, we've never covered this before, and I'm gonna err on the side of caution, and I'm gonna bite him in the ass. Okay, so, like, you're not killing that stuff. So we got another one coming, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Don't forget your
Oh, yeah.
phone and glass.